Hi, what is up guys? It's Archer Turbo here from the internet. Now today we are gapping piston rings for these brand new custom made pistons, low compression pistons. My friends at Carrillo. Now these are going to be going in a supercharged 2.5 litre Carpenter head custom exhaust rocket 3. So I had to lower the compression so I can use more boost. Basically taking a step back so I can take 2 steps forward. Anyway, we got the rings, we gotta gap them correctly. Specifications from Carrillo come with a little sheet attached to it. Or depending on your application, drag racing, road racing, yes that's me, but I'm also going supercharged. So I gotta get my bore, multiply by, let me just check this out real quick. And let's go, and calculator, my bore is exactly 4 inches. And multiply that by 0.0055. So I gotta get 22 thousandths is my target for the top ring, and then I gotta go 0.04 thousandths to 8 thousandths bigger. So let's go 8 for the crack. Okay, I just made a balls of that. 4 by 0.0055 is that plus 0.008 thousandths, gives me about 30 thousandths is where what my target is for the second ring. And then the oil ring is minimum 15 thousandths, and according to the Carrillo Tech Sport guy, maximum 50,000. Do not file them. So if you don't get the right gap on your oil rings, you gotta send them back, I guess. Anyway, that's it. So target of, we're gonna do a top ring. I've got all the other rings done and I've got one top ring left. Now, one thing worth noting is that the second ring is a little bit softer than the top ring, so it's easier to file, so just be careful with those because you could end up taking too much off too quick, whereas the top ring is quite hard. So, a little demonstration of the second ring. It's a THG ring. Top ring then is a gas nitrided one. So, what we're going to do, this is going to go in cylinder number 3. So this is cylinder number 3, that's the front. So the end marks, I don't know if you can see that in the camera or not, the end means up, as does the beveled in edge here. That also faces up in your piston, so when you're putting on your piston it goes that way, in the top groove. So anyway, what I'm going to do here is take this guy, give him a bit of a wipe, just so it's relatively clean. Now I got to get a drop of oil. I got some freshly spilled Motul 7100 oil here, which I was using for another purpose earlier on. I'm just going to put that in around there. Yes, it is clean. Shut up. So there we go. Now, pop in our ring. Just like that. Get the piston, push it down, get it nice and even, a little below the deck, and here we go. I'm going to hazard a guess and say we're about 12 thou of a gap there, maybe. Yep, 12 thou, maybe a little bigger, go 13. That's a tight 13, 14. It's also a tight 14. I'd be saying it's probably a 13. Yeah, we'll call that a 13. So I'm going to mark it. Actually, I'd marked it earlier. Make that a 13 thou. Don't tell anybody. 13 thou. That's my starting gap. Now, in lieu of a proper filing ring file tool, some people use this technique where well, you want to file inwards and on one side only. So you want to file along here like that. You don't want to go backwards because you want to send the green in that direction and the burrs in that direction as well. They're burring anyway, but anyway, just file one side. So you could hold a ring like that and go like this. But as you can see, this is pure butchering your ring. Very, very difficult to keep it straight. And then you've got a pack of jeweler's files here, which you use for deburring. And you can also use this to take down your ring just like that. Now, you could be there forever doing it that way, and it is also extremely difficult to keep the, again, I don't know if you can see this, but you need to keep this edge perfectly square and there as well, and flat here, and you can end up with going off, and it's just, I'd invite you to try it, but it's just very, very difficult to keep it straight. Now, a homemade tool here, what I've done is I've taken an old grinding disc from a bench grinder. Now I'm not going to use that because that'll just eat the ring on me. I'll trash it straight away. But you can probably buy these in a shop. I just made one up. This is an old grinding disc, and quite a smooth one. I don't know what grade it is, but it's smooth enough. And what I did is I just made up a little bit of a spindle for it, so I can put it in my hand drill, set it to the low speed setting, and then you can vary the speed with your trigger. So you just get a nice low speed like that. So we had 13 thousandths to begin with. So I'm going to do now is, now remember, we want to file from the outside in. So I'm going to go ahead and spin that up. Hopefully you can see that okay. Now you don't apply too much pressure because it'll just, there you go, yeah, bite into it like that and take it out of your hand. Also hard to keep it straight that way. You end up with an uneven filing pattern. And you could even chip the ring. So I'm just going to go like that. Keep it nice and square. And we'll see what that does. Let's give it a little bit of clean. Now I think it goes without saying that when you're done with all this and you've got your gaps right and you've deburred and checked and all the rest of it, you want to wash your liners and your rings and your pistons because they come from the factory. They're not exactly clean. There's some little swarf on them. So you want to make sure you give them all a good wash with like ATF or petrol or something. And blast them out with compressed air to dry them out. Fairly even. Now we're on, what did I say, 13 thou last time, so this should be a nice loose 13 thou this time. It's a bit looser, not too loose. And I got in, that's about 14 thou. So there I took 1,000 off with that guy for however many RPMs that are. So we're going to go again. This time we're going to go a little bit longer. And you have to be very careful. The top ring, it takes off a lot slower because the ring is a lot harder. But the second ring is much softer. You have to be very careful with that. When you go too far too fast, the next thing you just trashed your ring. You're taking too much off. Or you might go a little bit arseways and go diagonal. Using this method now, I found I got very, very straight edge finish. It's just as good as a professional ring file tool, I reckon. But if you're doing it with a hand file like this, chances are you're going to end up with non-square edges, and then you get your gap right, but you've got a non-square edge. You have to square it up, and when you square it up, next thing you know, you're on too big. So just be careful. And keep it level. Now, let's see what that did. That's probably about another 1,000, I'd say. Drop it in like this. Get in there, nice and deep black. Oh fuck, that was bad. And be careful with your pistons because they're forged aluminium alloy. Not exactly the hardest things in the world, and they cost a lot of money. So where were we? We were a type 14 last time. You know what? We're still a type 14. Now again, I don't know if you can see that. Let me get a lamp. But the my end is quite square. It's a little bit, just a little bit wider here than it is on the inside, or sorry, on the inside of the ring than it is on the outside. So I just want to watch that, and I want to angle my ring a little bit more to get the inside. It should be like that. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. That's still only about 14 thou there. So I've got a nice bit more to take off. I want to get up to about, I'll show you right now actually. Back to my page here. According to the text, I should be bore by 0.055, which is 22 thousandths of a gap. But the Carrillo tech support guy says that I should be going for 20,000 top. No, he didn't talk me through this and say why I shouldn't do it. He just told me that 20, 28 in the second and 15, 50 in the third one. Anyway, I might speed up this video afterwards just because there's going to be several iterations of this, but you really want to take your time and be careful. You don't want to go too far too fast, or you'll make an absolute hames of it. You take too much off and that's it, your ring is gone. Now the Carrillo guys did say you better have too big a gap than too little a gap, but that doesn't mean you can have like an inch of a gap here. But if your target is 22, you'd be better off at 24 than 20, apparently. I should have a nice loose 14. Yep. 15. Yeah, it's a tight 15. I'm taking off 16, not bad. That was a good one. Don't want to do too many of those and end up taking too much off. And the 17 won't go in. Okay, we got 16 thou. That's not bad. Let's go again. Let's do it again. You want to be careful there because you speed that thing up and it'll eat into this, depending on the grit you use. And again, apologies, I don't know what grit that is. I just found an old bench grinder and made a tool out of it because, quite frankly, I didn't want to spend $100 on a ring filer. That's just when you turn by hand, or like several hundred on a professional electric one. Well, I probably should, because you never regret spending money on tools, do you? And that's not quite a 17, very tight for 17. Might be a 16. Yeah, it's a loose 16, alright. You need to go again. Let's go again. Ooh, too much pressure. And again, I'm doing this as quickly as I can for the video, but you want to take your time with this thing, boys. And don't trash your rings. I'm not too worried because I got a second set of these pistons on the way. $16 gone. 17, oh yeah, nice and loose. 18, and that's a tight 18. Tight enough. Let's try 19. I'm getting close now, getting warm. You have to be careful. You do not want to go too far too fast. 22 thousandths is the max I want to go. Anyway, back to this. I meant to say Carrillo textbook I said 20,000. He just said that's what you need. Didn't get into too much discussion about it, but the chart here says 22 thousandths. So I'm going to hedge my bets and go with 21, or a very tight 22. So 18. Yeah, that's a snug 18. 19. Nope. So I'm at 18 thousandths right now. Let's go again. Focus on keeping it square as you can in all directions. It's probably only about 1,000, but it's okay to go 1,000 at a time. Again, you do not want to go over and trash your ring. Now, if you're just going for street high performance or drag race and you're going somewhere between these two, maybe 0.047, hedge your bets, and you go too far and you accidentally went up to that clearance there, well, you can still use your ring, but you have to get a turbo for your bike. It's either that or buy new rings. I don't see why it would be sensible to buy new rings. Just get a turbo. That's what I do. Not quite an 18 yet. Still a little bit tight. Okay, let's go again. Yeah, not quite a 19. Anyway, I'm going up these truly slowly, but let's just pretend 19 was what I was going for. Let's say I'm in around here, and I'm happy with that. That's my gap. What I want to do then is just finish it off. Again, a jeweler's file, or needle file, I think it's called, yeah. I'm just going to deeper on my edges. Just like that. I should feel burr free. Not quite rounded, but it's pretty much burr free. And this is a emery board, I think the ladies call it. It's what they use on their nails. It's a nail file. I'm going to pretend like I don't know what it is anyway. Just a bit of a edge as well. And that actually puts a nice kind of polish. Nice polish on the end of it. Nice and clean. Let's just pop that in here again and we'll get a look at it under better light conditions and everything. So where were we? About 18 thou, wasn't it? Yeah, it's a comfortable 18. A tight 19. So about 19 thou right now. Now if I want to look at this and go, you can see it's nice and square. You can also do it this way. You should only have, you can see the shape of your gap there. I'm actually slightly wider out here than I am in there. That's why the 19 goes in, but I have to really work it in the last little step. I need to take a shade more, smell more off the outside edge. Apart from that, it's all good. So I might end this video now, just to not be videoing forever, but for those who want to continue to watch until I reach the point I want to reach, I'll keep going. Now I'm leaning slightly more forward on it here, I don't know if you can see it, because my outside edge was a little bit tighter than my inside edge. Now my 19 should be loose. Yep. 20. Ooh, did I go too far? Ooh. That's what the Carrillo guy said, to stop at 20. I'm bold. I got a nice tight 21 there, and it looks, let me just get this light. Yeah, that looks nice and clean and straight. Just like me. I'll go 22. Where 22 go? No, 22 will not go, so actually, do you know what? There we go. I reached that one pretty quick. Look, it didn't overshoot. Now I'm happy that my gap is okay. I'm at 21 there, so I'm happy there. So you can see that, but it should be nice and flat. You shouldn't have a kind of a, you can kind of see it, I don't know without showing you a bad ring now, but you can kind of see a unlevelness in the face of it. You know you didn't do good. So now you do not want to fight both ways. Remember that? Fight both ways. Just like that. The corners. Need to go in the way. Like that. I'll give it a bit of a polish with this guy. Give it a bit of a clean. Should be using rags for this rather than my shirt, but I'm sure it's dirty enough, so nobody cares. That's a nice clean looking ring now. And then I'll just pop it in here one more time. Thorough. Now if the deburring freed up an extra 1,000, I don't mind because it'd only be at 22 instead of 21, but either way I'm sleeping good tonight. So that's a 21. A tight but square tight fit. Let me just get my light again. Look at that. It's like art. Go underneath. Look for any bit of light escaping through. No, I'm good. That is pretty much a professional finish, boys, and all done with a homemade rotary piece for my drill, hand drill. No, 22 won't go. That's a clean 21 thou. Nice and even. I'd like to go another, just slightly, half a thou further so I can match up with the other two, because I've 21, a good 21 to a tight 22 on all the others, but that's good. That's me done. So that is that's gapping piston rings on custom made pistons. Now if you got pistons, let's say you ordered a 240 or a 265 kit from the boys at Carpenter Racing, they'd send you out a box like this with high compression Carrillo pistons in it, and you'd have to do the same there. You'd have to match each of your rings up to your cylinder. Now my cylinders are remarkably close. I could switch the rings around and it wouldn't make a difference, but what I've done is I've matched them up. Like these are all cylinder 2 rings, go up that one. Sorry, that's cylinder 1, cylinder 2, and cylinder 1 then goes to cylinder 1. Now I've marked those up as dirty because I'm going to give them a wash with some petrol, as I'm going to do with these pistons. And these guys, gudgeon pins look pretty clean, they're in the plastic bags and everything. And I'll be ready to go ahead and fit my pistons back into this beast. Oh, this guy. And that's it. Over and out.